Hey guys, it's Jessey from PS4daily.com here, and we got another episode of PSN Weekly. So for this week, I just wanted to try something different and record some commentary to go along with the actual video. I'm actually, it's like, what, 3 a.m. here where I am, so it's going to be a little bit low on the, I'm going to be really soft-spoken right now, but for future videos, I should be pretty loud and, you know, really, not, I don't want to say outgoing, but really charismatic. There we go. But first off, I want to say thank you to all the developers and all of you guys who've been watching these videos, reading the article, and the developers who've contributed their games to the series so far. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of stuff for this series planned out for the next month, at least, working on getting some more games in tow. If you guys have any games you want to see, just leave it in the comment section below, either on YouTube or on the impending article, and I'll try and see what I can do. But anyway, so as I was saying, this is Mousecraft. It's from Crunch and Koalas, and Curve Studios helped do the PS3, PS4, and PS Vita version. What you're seeing right now is the PS4 version, and first impressions are rather positive for me. It is, as you're gonna see here in a second, basically the story is you've got this cat from another planet, and he's trying to do something. I didn't read the subtitles just now, but he's trying to do something, and he ran out of budget for his thing, so he's trying to get enough money to buy some cheese, so he bought that. Now he's doing experiments with the mice, and that's basically the crux of the, it's basically a rough outline of the whole game. So here we have some gameplay. As you can see in the lower right hand corner, it's very touch oriented, which makes it a perfect fit for the PS Vita's touchscreen. But beyond that and stuff, what you're seeing up top is me controlling the blocks, which is how you're going to get each of the 3 mice across and over to the cheese. Now, as you'll see later on in the video, it goes way beyond just simply getting them to the cheese itself. You're going to have to not only do that, although that is going to be your main objective, you're going to also have other things you can do in the levels. You're going to want to collect crystals and avoid hazards. Like, there are these mechanical mice. You're not going to see them in this video. That's where I am right now in my review copy, but you're going to collect crystals, and you're going to avoid mechanical mice, and it starts to get complicated. Not in a bad way, though. I do, like, in a rather good way. The game, it's not simple. At first it starts out simple, as it should. You know, this is a tutorial, you know, it's supposed to ease you into the game. Props to Crunch and Koalas for actually making the tutorial rather short and engaging. You know, I know I've played a whole bunch of games, I'm sure you guys have too, where tutorials are really boring and really long. So it was nice to be able to actually play a tutorial that was interesting, and it was relatively fun, and even had a speed up command. But anyway, back to the gameplay. Things are gonna get much more complicated as you go through the games. I want to say 30 and 40 plus levels. I'm really not sure on the final level count for this. I haven't actually checked. I know that the map that I believe you guys saw in the beginning there resembles something like you would see in the Mario titles, in that you have your overworld, and then you have world 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4. I think I'm on world 112 at the time of this recording right now, and there are 4 sections, so I'm like halfway through 1-4. So I'm like, yeah, somewhere around there. So yeah, there might even be 80 levels. I'm not 100% sure. I'll obviously have the full details in the article that goes along with this. But anyway, as you see there, it just introduced the shard and my potential benefactor who wants to pay for my experiments, and I'm gonna get the shards, and that's where things start to kind of ramp up, and that's where things start to go beyond just getting from the 3 mice to the cheese as the basic objective. You're gonna want to get these anima shards in these levels to progress. So in order for me to get from area 1 to area 2 to area 3 to area 4, I'm gonna have to grab enough anima shards within each level. Now from where I am right now, there are 3 anima shards per level, and at first it's really easy to get them. Like, it's barely takes any thought process into it. But as you're gonna see, and I think the final level in this gameplay, I actually didn't get the last one because I had absolutely no clue what to do at that point. But I'll probably go back to that and get that later. I mean, it just really depends on how motivated I feel to actually go through the game and collect all the anima shards, and that's part of that's one of the most important things about a game like this, that necessitates that you actually go through the level and acquire some of these collectibles. You know, you have to make the player actually want to go through and get these things, and so far the game's done a good job of that. It's not just about giving them it's not just about rewarding the user for collecting X amount of collectible items. It's also about making it reasonable, or the difficulty around collecting the items rather reasonable. So I think they've done well to achieve that so far. You know, I haven't gotten all of them in each level yet, but you know, it's not to the point yet where I'm like, oh my god, how am I supposed to get that? I can't get it. You know, I mean, it takes some thought process into it, which is what I love. And later on, you're gonna well, first off, I'll explain some of the basic mechanics that you just saw in the last like 5 levels. So you drop all these Tetris-like blocks, as you guys can see. It's kind of like a hybrid between Tetris and well, yeah, it's basically a Tetris game, kind of, in that you drop these Tetris-style blocks to get them from point A to point B with little side objectives littered along the way. And you can press circle to undo an action, which is gonna come into play later on, and press square to speed things up, as you guys can see I just did there. Or pressing square also drops the mice from their wheel and onto the course itself, and that's how you're actually that's how I'm gonna get the shards over here. I completely messed up because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know that you had to press square, but I figured it out eventually. But yeah, there we go, I just figured it out. But yeah, that's gonna be important, that mechanic in particular, because you're going to need to do that and, you know, get them past a certain point, grab a shard, pause the game, or, you know, pause the gameplay with the DualShock 4's touchpad, and then, you know, place your blocks, then unpause it and let the mice go about their business. And that's another thing I want to talk about real quick. You know, the touchpad's functionality in the game. It's not much, but then I feel as if they really could have done more. You know, I like that the touchpad is used to pause the gameplay. That's cool, and I love that. That's actually something you're gonna see more at this part in the game. But at the same time, you know, I'm over here using the DualShock 4's left analog stick to move all these pieces, and I can't help but feel that the touchpad would have been better suited for this, or maybe move the pausing functionality to the triggers or something, because where I am right now, triggers aren't being used, so it would have been nice to be able to, you know, fiddle around with that and not have to take my thumb off, you know, the face buttons to get to the touchpad or whatever. Basically I want something that's more accessible. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh, well, you know, this isn't something that's, you know, too fast-paced. So I can kind of understand the reasoning for putting the touchpad, or for, you know, enabling the touchpad to be used to pause the game and whatnot. So, can't really fault them, but at the same time, I don't really like it that much. But, yeah, this is actually one of the games, one of the very few, well, the first game where I wasn't 100% on board with the way the game used DualShock 4's touchpad, which is actually a surprise to me, but that's for another video in the future or whatever. But yeah, in a second you're gonna see them introduce the bomb, bomb mechanic, which is gonna be used to blow up blocks themselves, and that's another thing I want to talk about. You're gonna see me blow up a few blocks, and when you're blowing up the blocks, you're not given an option to blow up maybe one piece of the block at a time or two pieces or something. It's the whole block, and I feel like they could have gone further by allowing you to blow up, maybe in the 3 block long in the straight block, which is like what, made up of 4 other units. Maybe blow up 3 of those units to create like a singular block. Something like that would have been really nice for a game like this. It could have amped up the difficulty a little bit, add just something more to it. But for what it's worth, it's still nice having the depth that I've seen so far in the early levels of the game. So there we go, there's the bomb that I just received. But that's basically all I have to say about Mousecraft at this point. Not too much, but not too little at the same time. It's a really fun game. Not too sure about the price point yet. Curve will be announcing that later on in the week. I'll have that in the article, obviously. But yeah, you guys can get this on PS4, PS3, or PS Vita. It's cross-buy across all platforms. Also includes cross-save for you guys who love that. I know I'm a huge proponent of cross-save functionality. Love the developers taking advantage of that. And you can also get on PC, Steam, Mac, I think Linux as well. But this is PS4 daily, so gotta push that PS4 version. So anyway, I'm Jessey with PS4daily.com, and I'll see you guys later.